Well, good morning and welcome to Marketplace Monday. Thrilled to have you join us. My name is Ron McLean. I am the president and CEO of the Cooperative Credit Union Association. Most importantly, I want to wish all of you, all of your loved ones, your families, and everyone at your credit union, I hope you are all healthy, safe, and well. I want to say a big thank you on behalf of the association about what you and your colleagues have done at your respective credit unions to help your members, their families, businesses, and communities throughout the pandemic. So very important to say that early on and extend a big warm welcome. So thrilled to have you join us for our Marketplace Monday, day one. We have 9 more of these going through every Monday through October 5th. We're calling CU Marketplace Monday the Road to Convention, and I hope you can be with us at our virtual convention and annual meeting scheduled for October 14th to the 16th. It's very important as your association to continue on with these marquee events, Marketplace, Convention. So thrilled to have you join us today. I do want to give a special thank you to all of our sponsors of CU Marketplace. We have a ton of great sponsors. I do want to highlight 2 in particular. That would be CUNA Mutual, our title sponsor of CU Marketplace Monday. We also have PSCU, which is our event sponsor. So we have a great list of sponsors on our website. I encourage you to go there and visit and learn about them. So over the next number of weeks, we're going to have a great lineup of partner organizations. I would qualify them as leading partner organizations throughout the country and industry. So we'll have a wide range of topics. It will be a range of education for you and also a number of valuable resources when it comes to learning about their own products and services. So most importantly, a big warm welcome on behalf of the association. Thanks for being a part of this. And if myself or the association can help in any way going forward, please reach out to us. So without further ado, let's get started. I will hand it over to our host of CU Marketplace Monday, Isaiah.
Thank you, Ron. I really appreciate that. It's good to see you, even though it's only virtual. It is good to see your face, Ron. How are you?
Doing fantastic, Isaiah. You're a familiar face to many of our members, and thrilled to have you be our host for CU Marketplace.
I appreciate that. I do. That's Ron McLean. He is our president and CEO of the Cooperative Credit Union Association. And as Ron mentioned, it is very important that everybody is safe and healthy, and we wish you all the best. Everybody has been working hard since March, since the pandemic started, since the lockdown happened. And that's why we're doing a virtual CU Marketplace Monday. Of course, we'd love to be together at the DCU Center. We'd love to be together coming up later in the year for our convention. We can't do that, but just like credit unions, we don't stop. We figure out how to get things done. And Marketplace Monday is going to be exactly that. We're going to have a lot of fun. As Ron mentioned, we've got some great vendors, some great partners, some great keynote speakers. Coming up on our first episode after our break here in a few minutes, our first guest will be Dr. Nicolas Argy. He's an MD, and he'll kind of give us the state of where we are with COVID-19. How the country looks, how the curve looks. Are we doing the right things? Have we done enough? Can we do more as society to stay safe? Because that is the number one thing, as Ron just mentioned, is to stay safe, stay healthy, and we will rebuild what we have to rebuild. I mean, this association is in 4 states, Delaware, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. We're thrilled to have all of the credit union membership watching. I know you'll be watching every week. We're incentivizing all the credit union membership with thousands of dollars in prizes, some amazing vendors, some solutions, some really interesting and innovative solutions that you as credit union decision makers really want to listen for and hear, because some of these products and some of these stories are really, really going to be inspirational and game-changing at your credit union. As Ron said, 9 weeks of doing this. I think we're taking Labor Day off. So that's good. We'll take Labor Day off. But we're going to do 9 of these, and we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to keep them short and sweet, because there is something to be said for Zoom fatigue. We don't want to be on here long. We want to be on here for a little over an hour. We want to be educational, and we want to have a lot of fun with you too. So thanks to all of our sponsors. Thanks to all of our vendor partners. Good news, all of our vendors do have a chance to win some prizes. Let me show you a little sneak preview here. That is the prize wheel. And on that prize wheel, yep, there are prizes. So we'll get back to that in a little while. And We're going to start off the show in just a few minutes with Dr. Nicolas Argy, MD. He'll give us the state of COVID-19 and so much more. Then we'll be speaking with Shazia from CUNA Mutual Group. She was excellent. And don't forget, there's one other thing I forgot to mention. CCUA Scrabble. Now, we might have to come up with a better name for that, but I'll be playing a Scrabble game throughout these 9 weeks. So all of you credit union decision makers that are watching, you know how to play Scrabble. You're going to play along and you have a chance to win thousands of dollars in cash. So again, my name is Isaiah. This is our first Marketplace Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back right after these messages from some of our sponsors, and we'll be talking with Dr. Nicolas Argy. Thank you, Ron, and thanks so much for watching. We'll be back right after this.
Banking today is constantly evolving. NES Group understands that. With over 40 years of experience, we have the insights into what it takes to plan, design, build, brand, equip, and furnish a functional facility that exceeds expectations. We know the banking industry. Our commitment and full-service approach to offering you the services you need mean that you can provide your customers the best experience possible. NES Group, along with our in-house divisions, knows that to provide the best, you need to be the best. Our full-service architectural firm, DRL Architects, specializes in financial institutions, from site and space planning to interior design and construction documentation. Their approach has spearheaded designs for our award-winning projects. Revive, focused on brand strategy and marketing, identifies opportunities to improve your messaging, digital content, and keep branding consistent throughout your institution, creating inspiring retail environments. NES Group Bank Equipment rounds out our services. They can outfit your locations with everything from ATMs and interactive teller machines to physical and electronic security equipment. As one, NES Group provides insight into every aspect of the banking environment. Our team of experts will guide you every step of the way, from identifying your next location to building a new branch or main office to transforming an existing branch. Connect with us today to learn more and experience the difference.
Stand by, Isaiah.
Okay, and welcome back to our very first virtual CU Marketplace Monday presented by the Cooperative Credit Union Association. My name is Isaiah, and I will be your host for the next 9 weeks. Thanks again to Ron McLean for the opening statements. What echoes in my head with what Ron said is that we're all safe. We're all safe and we're all smart. We've been dealing with this pandemic, and let's be serious. Life is different. Life looks different. Life feels different, professionally, personally, mentally. We all have so many things that we have to deal with, and really we want this Marketplace Monday to not only be a great place, it's our responsibility as an association to bring together our membership with the best vendors out there so we can continue to do business, right? That's our responsibility. It's also our responsibility to make sure that everybody's okay. So we're going to be talking to some really great guests today, 3 great guests coming up. Dr. Nicolas Argy will be chatting with us, kind of giving us the state of the state with COVID-19. Shazia Manus, who works with the CUNA Mutual Group, will be talking with us, and also Norm Patrick with PSCU will be talking with us on the show today. And as I mentioned in the open, all of our vendors and partners have a chance to spin the prize wheel, win some prizes. All of our vendors and partners are automatically entered into a drawing for a 75-inch flat screen TV, which we'll give away at the end of this series. And all of you credit union membership partners out there, all of the decision makers that are tuned in right now at ccua.org/live, thank you. And we're going to give you a chance to win $2,000 in cash. During the commercial break, I was told by my executive producer, Walt, that no, he doesn't like the name Scrabble. We're not going with Scrabble. We're going with Marketplace Monday's Mystery Clue Game. All right, I'm going to be giving you a clue sometime throughout each episode. You have to gather all 9 clues. If you get the answer right, you can submit it, and one winner gets $2,000 in cash. So as you can tell, we're going to have some fun. We're going to educate people. We're going to have great solutions. We're going to have a lot of fun for the next few weeks, and we're going to keep this short and sweet too. Nobody watching this wants to be watching a video call for 2 or 3 hours, right? Anybody? No, didn't think so. No. let's get right to it. Our first guest, our keynote speaker for our very first Marketplace Monday, sponsored by the Comprehensive Benefit Administrators. We're chatting with Dr. Nicolas Argy. Dr. Nicolas Argy is in our virtual green room. Nicolas, are you there?
I am here.
Now, you couldn't figure out the Zoom, so I can't see your pretty face today.
I have a face made for radio, not a problem.
That's perfect. Well, listen, Dr. Nicolas Argy, MD, you do a lot of work with the Cooperative Credit Union Association and some of our partners. Give the people watching a little bit of your medical and legal background so we know who you are.
So I practiced radiology for 30 years. I got my MD JD because I was interested in health policy, health management, and I've been teaching health law, health medical ethics, and health policy for close to 30 years, and we'll be starting again in the fall at BU virtually.
Everything's virtual these days, Doctor. I mean, that's just the state of where we are. And you know, I follow you on social media. I read your LinkedIn posts and follow you on your website. And you know, you just being a medical professional and a legal professional, you know, you come at this with no political agenda. You come at this with facts. And that's what I think the world needs when it comes to COVID-19. Let's start there. I mean, where are we with this? This thing broke in late February, early March. Here we are in early August. I mean, from a medical standpoint, are we doing the right things here in the United States? Are we going in the right direction? Give us your medical view on that, Doctor.
Well, you know, we started recognizing that we had a problem, and you know, we were quick, especially in the hot spots, to shut things down, which is what we needed to do. We don't have good pharmacologic interventions. We don't have a vaccine. So what do? We go back to basic principles of public health. So wear a mask, don't go out in public unless you absolutely have to for essential activities, shut down bars, restaurants. And the states that did that were quite successful. Obviously, New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey. The White House then issued their recommendations for when we should open up, and nobody followed the White House's own recommendations. And so we can listen to Ron DeSantis from the governor of Florida telling us how you know everything's great in Florida until it wasn't. And we still have people who are just letting politics run science and data-driven public health decision-making, which is just crazy. So I'm not running for office, and I have no political agenda. I just want to see people be safe, and we just haven't done that. We still have governors who are fighting tooth and nail, allowing bars to be open, restaurants to be open, and all the hard work that's been done has been lost and will continue to be lost until we make tough decisions. It's tragic that the United States, that should be the shining beacon that the world looks up to, has become the laughingstock of the world in terms of us being representing 25% of the cases in the world and only being 5% of the population.
I think what it comes down to, we're talking to Dr. Nicolas Argy, MD, to start off our first virtual Marketplace Monday. I think what it comes down to, and it is sad, but we all have to do control our own destiny, handle your own stuff, right? So the Credit Union Association and the credit unions and the people watching here, we can control what we can control, and we have to on a daily basis. We have to make the right decisions from an association level right down to the local level of when we open up, when do we go back to work. Think about what parents are thinking. When do my kids go back to school? Do I send my kid to a party? There's a lot going on here. So again, from the medical standpoint, but let's look more mental. I mean, what kind of strain is this putting on yourself? I mean, talk about the things you have to go through and the daily decisions and the arguing and the fighting that goes on just to get through a day. I mean, what's that like for someone like yourself?
You know, me personally, it's a non-issue. This to me is bread and butter public health. I mean, when I go out and I get in my car, I don't lose any sleep or develop any anxiety over the fact that I have to stop when it's a red light, follow the speed limit, stay in the right lane. Those are just basic rules of the road. And I do it not only for my own safety, but for the other people who are on the road. And that's exactly what we're dealing with here with COVID. You know, you're not just, affecting your own welfare. You need to wear a mask because you're affecting the community around you. Nobody believes in voluntary obeying of the rules of the road. We don't allow people to decide how much they can drink and then get in their car. That's a danger to the community. So it's to me, it's just common sense. And thank goodness, even though some of the leaders and the people who have politicized this are making bad decisions, the common sense of the public at large has led to at least some mitigation of the spread of the virus. So I really rely on people's common sense and caring about their community members and society at large, and hope that the fringe minority that is decrying mask wearing and invoking their civil rights, like they have a right to get me sick or you sick, those are a fringe minority, and hopefully they're ignored and dismissed.
Talking to Dr. Nicolas Argy, MD, who was sponsored this morning by Comprehensive Benefit Administrators. He's our keynote speaker. Thank you for coming on the show, Doctor. There's a lot of talk right now as we get into August and head towards September about kids going back to school. Your thoughts? That's a big question because it probably depends on where you are in the cases, but right out of the gate, your thoughts on kids going back to school on time for the next school year.
So, this is a great question, and it's like front and center everywhere you look on social media, the news, and unfortunately, again, this has just been politicized. Everybody wants people to go back to school, our kids to go back to school, and frankly, everybody wants the economy to open up. So it's not yes, we do it, or no, we don't. It's when do we do it, and how do we do it safely? So the answer is that when there is widespread community contagion of COVID, that's not a time to be opening schools. That's just crazy. What you need to do is get the community spread to a very low level, so get it to a containment level, and containment means that you're not having 10,000 new cases in a particular region a day. That is a situation where you shouldn't even consider opening up schools. So getting the levels down after using these non-pharmaceutical interventions, again, social distancing, masks, staying in and not getting out there, washing hands. So once we've gotten things under control, then in a graduated and reasonable and safe fashion, you slowly open up schools, just like you slowly open up the economy, and you monitor it. You watch it carefully to make sure that you're not doing something that's exacerbating the situation. So it's very straightforward in the sense of it's not a yes or no question. Everybody wants schools to be open. Everybody wants society to be open again. You just have to do it in a science and data-driven way, and that's not happening. You're either for schools opening or not for schools opening, and that's not the question. The correct question is, how do we open it all up safely? And that's, again, driven by science and data, not by politics, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. Our keynote speaker, Dr. Nicolas Argy, joining us on the first virtual Marketplace Monday. I'm going to call you Dr. Common Sense moving forward, like it or not. And I think Dr. Common Sense for President 2020. Moving on. There's a story that came out in the Boston Globe last week. Johnson & Johnson made an announcement about a vaccine. A lot of pharmaceutical companies, a lot of big companies, are rushing to get a vaccine, as we should. Talk to me about your thoughts on these companies trying to do them really, and from a medical standpoint, again, the effectiveness of a vaccine coming out this quickly. I mean, where are we at with the vaccine as far as you're concerned?
Again, fantastic question. Thanks for asking. So historically, the fastest a vaccine was ever made was mumps. It took 4 years. We are now in warp speed, but I really want the audience to understand how important it is to make sure we have a safe and efficacious vaccine before we start administering it. One of the key factors in vaccine programs and development is that you are now going to administer a vaccine to not 10,000 or 100,000, but 300 million or 3 billion healthy people. So you have to be sure it's safe, and you have to be sure it's effective, meaning that it will actually create some protection from COVID once the vaccine is given to you. So we've gone through phase 1 and phase 2. We're now in phase 3 trials. So phase 3 trials involve administering the vaccine to 30,000 people, and frankly, administering it in an area where it's wildly spreading is actually the quickest way to find out whether it's protective or not. If you administer it to in a country or region that doesn't have extensive disease, it becomes that much harder to see if it's protective because there isn't that much disease around. So one of the mixed blessings, and it truly is a tragedy, is that we are probably the best place in the world because there's such extensive spread here. So whether you go to Texas or Florida or California or Arizona, those are fantastic places to do the phase 3 trials because we can hopefully very quickly find out. One of the things that I'm going to caution people about is there may be a political decision to release the vaccine early again, for political reasons. We should absolutely wait till the phase 3 trials are completed. That will take at least 6 months. So very important, if anybody starts using politics to say, oh, we're in phase 3, let's start distributing this widely, the phase 3 has to be completed to make sure that the vaccine is both safe and effective. And of course, minor side effects will not be manifest until we start giving it to millions of people. Look, the overall safety should be very clear, but sometimes it takes millions and millions of doses before rare side effects are manifest. And there could be nothing worse, and I'm sorry to go on about this, but it's crucial. There could be nothing worse than releasing a vaccine prematurely and undermining the confidence in the public of all vaccines moving forward. So just crucial that we let the science and data reveal itself before we start administering a vaccine widely.
Now, listen, you couldn't be any more spot on, Doctor. Talking to Dr. Nicolas Argy, MD. He's our keynote speaker today, sponsored by our friends at the Comprehensive Benefit Administrators. Thank you so much for being on the show. This is our first virtual marketplace, our first Marketplace Monday. We have to do it virtually because of COVID-19, because since late February, early March, we've been on this lockdown. So thanks so much for being on the first show. I did tell you you're going to spin the prize wheel. Now, you can't see the prize wheel, so you're really you're going to have to trust me that you might win some prizes here, Doctor.
I trust you implicitly.
Oh, you didn't win. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. Hold on. There we go. Spinning the prize wheel that everybody else can see, but Dr. Argy, you can't. You got a free spin out of the deal. Trust me. Here we go. Second spin of the prize wheel. You got a $50 gift card, Dr. Argy.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, and I'd like to be a resource to everybody listening on my website, on Twitter, or on LinkedIn. Please reach out if I can be of service.
I was going to say, please tell people exactly where they can find you, Dr. Nicolas Argy. Tell them where they can find you on social and your website. Go for it.
So all you need to do is on LinkedIn, it's just my name. You'll see me. I've got 37,000 followers. On Twitter, it's at Nicolas Argy, no H, so NicolasArgy. And my website is, again, very hard to remember, www.nicolasargy.com. Again, no H, NicolasArgy. And again, be happy to answer questions or be a resource to any folks who would like.
Well, really, I do appreciate your time, Doctor. It's been a pleasure having you on. Thank you for all the work you're doing. Thank you for being, now I'm going to call you Dr. Common Sense. If we all just had a little common sense, I think we'd be okay in this world, right?
Absolutely. I wish all your members and all those listening be safe and definitely wear your mask and socially distance.
Thank you, Dr. Nicolas Argy, MD, sponsored by our friends at Comprehensive Benefit Administrators. He is our keynote speaker on our very first virtual Credit Union Marketplace Monday. We're going to take a break, and coming up next, Shazia Manus. She's the Chief Strategy and Business Development Officer at CUNA Mutual Group. We're going to chat with her coming up next. Stay with us. This is our first Marketplace Monday. We'll be right back.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. The sounds of tutoring and tech and health and fitness and arts and music. This is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey everybody, we're back. This is our very first virtual Marketplace Monday. My name is Isaiah. I'm your host. I want to thank Dr. Nicolas Argy for joining us on the show, gave us some insight about COVID-19, where we're at. Look, it's our responsibility as the Cooperative Credit Union Association to take care of our membership, right? All of our credit union decision makers. Absolutely. We need to take care of you. We need to put the best solutions in front of you. And it's our responsibility to also our vendors and our partners to provide that stage for all of you so that we can do business back and forth together. That's our job, and that's why we're doing this virtual Marketplace Monday group. Shazia, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Thanks for taking time on a Monday.
Absolutely. It's just a gorgeous day here in Iowa, and so glad to be part of the conversation.
Well, we're very excited to be talking with you. I had a chance to talk with you a couple of weeks back, and the energy I felt on the call was awesome. I'm really excited to hear from you, from where you sit, not only as a professional, but personally, mentally, how your world is. So let's start with business. I mean, you're the Senior Vice President, Chief Strategy and Business Development Officer for something called AdvantEdgeAnalytics. Now, that's part of CUNA Mutual Group, correct?
That is correct. So AdvantEdgeAnalytics is an early stage startup business for CUNA Mutual, and our purpose solely is to help credit unions grow and compete with the power of analytics and data. And the previous speaker talked wonderfully about the social from a public health standpoint, and I was just kind of taking notes, copious notes. It was so wonderful, and the number of times he referred to data-based decisioning and understanding the current state. So I think what we are doing, obviously helping credit unions to really leveraging the insights they have of their members, their communities, and how they position their capability and solution to be the top of wallet provider. So the importance of data and analytics, I think, has entered to a whole different plane in light of the current state as well. But that's what the business is, and we have two different line of capability. Consulting, which essentially helps credit union to navigate the complex world of data, whether it's strategy, priority, budget, data governance, any kind of custom configuration capability. So that's kind of sets them on the path. And then we do have software, so tools and capability and solution. So once each credit union know where they want to go, how they want to invest, how success looks like, then they have analytics software solutions that they can also configure and consume from us.
Talking with Shazia Manus, she's the Chief Strategy and Business Development Officer of the CUNA Mutual Group, and specifically she works with AdvantEdgeAnalytics. And thank you for that about analytics and data. And Dr. Argy mentioned the same thing. I mean, data is data is data. You know, the numbers don't lie. And as we sit here in a virtual state, Shazia, you know, credit unions still need to do business. Period. End of story. Yes, we had a lockdown. Yes, life looks different. Yes, things are different. People feel different these days. But credit unions still need to do business and rely on that data. And I would even, you know, argue that these days the data is even more important than ever because we're at home, we're at risk in certain situations. Talk a little bit about how business has been for the CUNA Mutual Group during this pandemic. I imagine you're a huge resource to credit unions everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, knowledge is power, right? And from our lens, knowledge is rooted in data. Once you have to kind of understand it, you have to find it, you have to contextualize it. More importantly, you have to drive some decision based on that. And yes, you are right. I mean, our approach has been CUNA Mutual has done a wonderful job from the inception of the COVID and the pandemic hitting. So it starts with taking care of our employees, making sure they're safe, really getting ourselves in a position, remote platform successfully. And then second of all, we also know with the pandemic, a lot of folks are taking care of not only working from remotely, you have children, you have elderly parents, you have a whole shifting of, what life used to be versus what life is, juggling a lot of things. So really putting together that comfort, that agility, that support system for the employees, because if we don't take care of our employees, we cannot take care of our clients and our business partner and credit unions. So that's one dimension. The second piece, obviously, is making sure we are there for credit unions to know a partner, a sounding partner that's not out there to push products or put solutions, because that's not a time. It is really helping them to kind of understand what they need. Our clients, what are the type of information is contextually is helpful for them to switch to a remote, to reach out to those distressed, vulnerable members, being proactive in driving the capability and solution. So that's been sort of our position, is taking care of our employees, listening to our clients and business partners, providing them the solution that is appropriate, relevant in a way that they are able to consume, and be there for them to support them. Sharing the learnings, because just like I don't think everybody is in the same playing field, because who would have anticipated pandemic hitting us, right, coming out of GSC. So as we are learning and as we are implementing our techniques and tools and solutions to kind of guide our own organization, we've been very forefront in sharing that very openly with our clients and our business partners as well.
Talking to Shazia Manus, the Chief Strategy and Business Development Officer for the CUNA Mutual Group, specifically the AdvantEdgeAnalytics. I jotted a couple of notes down right there, 2 words that stuck out: shifting and juggling. Everything is shifting, and everybody feels like they're juggling. I mean, talk about, did you think this was going to happen when we all yelled Happy New Year? No. No, I didn't see this coming.
Oh, heck no. I mean, think about it. We all came out of GSC. I mean, and started the year with our business plan, our initiatives, our priorities, all the exciting things. And then boom, 2 weeks later in March.
Hold on. Here's the business plan. Change it.
Change it, yeah. So I think the learning, you have to be a good juggler in a sense that the agility muscle, right? You have to be able to kind of tap into that, grow that, take it to a whole new level, to think quickly, shift course, try things that, just like what you're trying to bring in some funergy into with Price Wheel, just really taking the digital communication to a different level, right? So agility is important. At the same time is resiliency, right? We are all going through a huge calibration, personally, mentally, emotionally, physically, both personal and business front. So how do we really can embrace that? Because some good things have come out of it as well. We are learning about ourselves, our business model. And I truly believe that if we can continue to kind of tap into and grow the agility, resiliency, and just really stay focused on what's the right thing to do, which at the heart of it, our industry, people helping people, all people, and doing that from a place of authenticity and care and compassion and empathy, we will be just fine. So tapping into agility and resiliency and be a good juggler.
See, you're another Dr. Common Sense on the show. All we're doing is putting people on the show that have common sense. No way, go figure. Talking to Shazia Manus, the Chief Strategy and Business Development Officer for our friends at the CUNA Mutual Group, specifically AdvantEdgeAnalytics. And I'll tell you, there's been so much shifting. There's been so much business-wise that shifted. I mean, we're doing this platform here so that we as an association, the CCUA, can still bring together partners like yourself with our credit union decision makers who are watching. Thank you for watching on ccua.org/live, because we still have to do business and we still have to move the needle forward. So talking to folks like yourself, talking to Dr. Argy, and just asking questions and having a casual conversation, I think it's so important. Obviously, we'd love to be together. Don't get me wrong. We'd love to be in the same room, but we can't. So we have to figure out how to do it virtually. And just like from day one, credit unions have figured it out for their members. You know, they're there for their members no matter what the need is. And same is true for CUNA Mutual Group. Talk about yourself personally, things going on in your world. I know you have a child that's going off to college, so talk about that personally during a pandemic.
Yeah, talk about that. So, I only have one son, so he's actually moving into the dorms today. So as soon as I wrap up, that's going to be that, along with, life goes on. I think the reality is, in the midst of pandemic, you have to find that new balance of norm. I ended up actually relocating, selling a house, buying a house, moving, and then obviously calibrating into a new chapter of my life. So, and that's all happening within the current state. So I think it brings up reality just as business has to go on. So from a business standpoint, obviously, is just taking a toll of where we are. Obviously, with the COVID and the public health situation we have, every business domain, including credit unions, are in this react response mode, right? And we're trying to kind of gauge a pulse of what that looks like, focusing on the most essential and critical task and priority to get that done, and then take a toll. Again, data-driven decisions, what's needed, what's nice to have. Pretty soon, we don't know how long these phases will go, but hopefully we will enter the recovery stage of that, where we can slowly start, moving into this react response to more recovery, where we can start enhancing. We're putting in more capability and solutions to help members, to help business model, and then obviously transformation, which is the third step into this whole journey. So first, starting with, from a business sense, is understanding the strategy, because you tore that paper up. You started the plan and strategy. So fall is coming. So it's a great time to take a toll on what the next 10 to 12 months economy, social facet, and the financial aspect will look like. And based on that, really prioritizing those activity initiative, and then looking into the next 6 to 12 months, what are the recovery phases of investments and focus needs to be, because the big piece from a business standpoint is you cannot do it all, and you have to really know what is a strong signal and what's a noise, so you're not chasing a lot of things that's not bringing in that effective outcome, right? So data, again, drives you to make those strategic decisions and then really calibrating your business plan and strategy. So both from personal, both from business. I know your question was from personal. I had to bring in a little bit of practicality of business to that as well. And that's what's going on and I'm sure every executive listening in is thinking about that how do they navigate these different phases of the current reality we are living in.
Navigation is going to be the key part of it, Shazia. Shazia Manus, the Chief Strategy and Business Development Officer from CUNA Mutual Group. The navigation of this, it's hard. It's almost like being on a boat in the fog, and you have to rely on the radar. And sometimes the radar is right, sometimes the radar is off, sometimes the radar is just, you want to scream at the radar. I guess that's really what we're all going through in this world right now. But I think a group like CUNA Mutual Group is there to be that radar for the credit unions. And I urge everybody watching, all the credit union decision makers, I want you to reach out to Shazia. Do me a favor. How can people get a hold of you and dive deeper into the solutions that CUNA Mutual Group can provide for their credit unions?
Absolutely. So www.advantedge.com, on our website, you'll have a pretty good overview, both our analytics consulting arm, analytics software arm, as well as, we have a strong presence in LinkedIn, both from a business standpoint. So just go out there, take a look at it, reach out to us. All of our contact informations are there as well.
Wonderful. I appreciate it. Listen, it's been wonderful talking with you. You've got a good head on your shoulders, common sense, data driven. I mean, that's really, if everybody again just did a little bit of common sense, we'd be a lot better off these days, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah.
So here's our 2020 business plan. It went bye-bye, and we're gonna focus on the data for a new one. But listen, just for being on the first Marketplace Monday, you are automatically qualified for a 75-inch flat screen TV. Not a bad deal. And what I'm going to do here is we're going to play the prize wheel. You get to win potentially a $25, $50 gift card or a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. Are you ready, Shazia?
I am. Let's go.
Here we go. It's like that old show, no whammies, no whammies. You got a free Dunkin' Donuts gift card.
Awesome.
There you go. Lots of coffee to keep you awake. You don't get to travel as much as you used to, actually at all. So you can stay at home. You're an empty nester and drink your Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
There you go. Thank you. That's a great plan.
Listen, Shazia, Manus, thank you again, the Chief Strategy and Business Development Officer with our good friends at CUNA Mutual Group. Thank you so much for being on the show. Be safe, be well, and we'll talk with you soon, okay?
Same here. You too, Mark.
Excellent. This is the very first virtual Marketplace Monday presented by the Cooperative Credit Union Association. Coming up, we are going to play our Marketplace Monday mystery clue game for all of you credit union decision makers that are watching. You have a chance to win $2,000 in cash. Details coming up on that. And we have another guest speaker, Norm Patrick, the Vice President of Advisors Plus Consulting at PSCU. He will be joining us coming up in just a few minutes. We're going to take another break. Thanks for checking out our first ever Marketplace Monday. We'll be back right after this. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the very first virtual Marketplace Monday. My name is Isaiah. I'll be your host for the next 9 weeks. Marketplace Monday presented by the Cooperative Credit Union Association. Getting a lot of feedback from around the country. This is unique. This is different. A lot of people are taking their conventions, their 3-4 hour conventions, and putting them online. We decided not to do that. We want to keep these things short and sweet, keep it to about an hour, keep it full of education, full of solutions for our decision makers watching. Give our vendors and partners the platform to talk to all of our decision makers, give away some prizes, have some fun, learn some things, check in on people, and call it a day for a Monday, right? I'm sure people have plenty of other things to do on a Monday. So want to thank our first two speakers. We had Dr. Argy and Shazia Manus. And now we have our third guest speaker today. He's in our virtual green room. Norm, if you could take yourself off mute. Norm Patrick is the Vice President of Advisors Plus Consulting at PSCU. Norm, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Isaiah. Doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good so far. I mean, what do you think of the show? How's the flow going? How have the guests been?
Well, I think this flow is fantastic. And as I'm sure you and many participating today are kind of fatigued with the traditional webinar format, and I really believe this format has been pretty nice in terms of cutting through it and being very engaging and entertaining.
Well, like I said at the beginning, Norm, it's our responsibility as an association to just give each side the stage. You know, our vendors, our partners need the audience, and our audience is our membership, our decision makers, you know, across 4 states of credit unions through Delaware, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island. You know, they need solutions. Business doesn't stop, Norm. So we wanted to do this once every Monday. We'll do it for 9 weeks. We will take Labor Day off, but we just want to get to the point, do it for a little over an hour, have the solutions out there. We're recording all of this too, so we'll be able to push this out across social and give everybody these recordings so that really the vendors and partners feel that they still have that access, and our membership at the credit union level still feels that we're providing them with those solutions from the best and the brightest. And that's where you come in. Are you the best or the brightest, or are you both?
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I'm surrounded by great people.
That's a good leader right there. Surround yourself with good people. So you're the Vice President of Advisors Plus Consulting, PSCU. Talk to me. What is it that you do on a daily basis? If I'm a credit union decision maker, what am I going to buy from you?
Well, within Advisors Plus at PSCU, we are the management consulting and marketing services arm for our PSCU owners. So we spend a great deal of time every day working with credit unions on growing their debit and credit card portfolios, looking at their back office operations and finding some good optimization opportunities there, as well as following up with all the direct marketing to the cardholders to help facilitate that growth and education and awareness that credit union cardholders need.
Great. We wanted to discuss the weekly transaction trends that PSCU Advisors Plus and Dana Analytics teams have been analyzing from our owner credit union members each week. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, each week since the beginning of March, since the onset of the COVID crisis, within Advisors Plus, a couple of different teams, we have been putting together weekly transaction insight information based on the hundreds of credit unions that we process for. And we've been publishing that information on a weekly basis, and it's available to all credit unions at pscu.com/COVID-19. How do you like that for a URL? Very unique. So,
talking to Norm Patrick, Vice President of Advisors Plus Consulting, PSCU. Give out that website one more time.
pscu.com/COVID-19.
So talk to me, Norm, how have things been for you? We've all been at home. Some people have gone out. Some people are slowly making their way back to offices. But I mean, it's been such a different time since the end of February, early March. How has it been for you professionally in this particular climate?
Well, as you would assume, as a consultant, we're on the road quite a bit. And these days, actually, since the GAC conference, I've been on the road 0%. But I think we've done a really good job across the entire industry, us included, in coming up with these electronic tools of communication. And I think you're actually able to spread the information a little bit further doing it virtually because you're not cutting into people's schedule for travel and all that. So I think the reach has been very good. But I think it takes pretty unique talent to be able to communicate information in a virtual fashion. So, but I think we're doing pretty well with it. And, as evidenced by our virtual member forum for PSCU, where we were able to do that on a fully virtual basis as well. And it was very effective. So I think there's been some opportunity with it, with the unfortunateness of everything else.
Right. Well, I mean, that's really what you have to do is you have to look for that silver lining. And no matter what adversity gets put in front of a company like yours or credit unions or anybody in my circles, look, you just got to keep moving forward, onward and upward, right? You have to figure out, I like what Dr. Argy and Shazia said, and I'm sure you will agree, common sense in your daily activities will allow us to get to the finish line. If people can just do the right things, follow the rules that are in place, stop arguing about it, and just go. I mean, imagine if you came to work every day and you argued with your CEO and said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to. You're not going to get anywhere, are you?
Not going to get anywhere.
Not going to get anywhere. So we're talking with Norm Patrick, the Vice President of Advisors Plus Consulting, PSCU, presented, of course, by PSCU. What are some of the overall card transaction trends that PSCU has been seeing since the pandemic started back in March?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, we have been measuring on a weekly basis year-over-year trends in transaction and spend activity and where people are using their cards these days. And in the early weeks of the pandemic, as we saw the shutdown state by state, we did see a significant decrease in activity, which has been pretty well publicized. But more specifically, debit card was down about 18% as we rounded out the trough for debit at the end of March. Credit card came in a little bit later than that in terms of the overall trough, but we were down about 32% in terms of card spend activity on credit cards. And if you think about, where credit cards are very heavily used besides day-to-day spending, travel and entertainment sectors are absolutely huge for credit cards, and those took a tremendous hit and have been bouncing back largely ever since then. Going to today, coming from that trough, we in our most recent week of analysis, debit card has actually been up 18.5%. So it has been a huge beneficiary to the situation. Credit card is bringing up the rear at this point. We're almost back to break even. We actually almost hit it 2 or 3 weeks ago, but with some of the more recent shutdowns that we've seen, or the growth in the hotbeds of virus cases that we've seen, we're actually down about 3%. 3 to 4% from the most recent week.
Talking with Norm Patrick, Vice President of Advisors Plus Consulting, PSCU. Those trends obviously are in line with the trends that are going on in the world. I mean, if people don't go out, they don't spend. They don't travel, they don't spend. My credit card looks like grocery store, one Home Depot, grocery store, grocery store, and then grocery store again. Everything's been different. Things have shifted, as I was mentioning when we were talking to Shazia. The shifting and the juggling, it's just happening. So a company like yours, you have to shift, you have to adjust, and you have to watch. But I think that's really a great service you can provide to credit unions. It's again back to that the analytics, the data. You can see what people are doing. You can try to plan ahead a little bit in the game, if you will. Do you see any permanent shifts? So we've seen the shifting. Do you see any permanent shifts in people spending? No thanks to this pandemic.
Well, I think some of the more permanent implications are going to be in the form factors on how they transact. And one real good example is I'm sure you feel the same way. You really don't feel like touching money these days, do you?
I'm good.
So we've seen a very significant uptick in a couple of different things. One of them being contactless payment cards, where prior to the pandemic, if you look at contactless cards on the debit card side, we're at about 9% of transactions were contactless, where you're actually tapping and go at the point of sale. And at this point, we're at about 13%. So we're getting close to nearly doubling that concentration. And very similar for the credit card side of the house. Related to that is an increase of mobile wallet transactions, where you actually have those payment cards installed on your wallet and digitally positioned. So we're up about 82% on debit card transactions and about 48% on credit. So I think, with just that very simple thing of a more hygienic approach, consumers are gravitating towards those payment methods finally, and the merchants are in a position to support them by actually turning on the functionality at the terminals.
So really the pandemic is helping people get to a place you wanted them to get to. Do it digitally, do it easier, so there aren't it's a touchless transaction. But even prior to pandemic, do you really want, it's like going back and writing checks. Do I want to write a check, or do I do bill pay? Do I want to pull out the phone? I mean, and that also brings up other conversations about security. I mean, we give up so much of our information these days. It's a little nerve-wracking doing things digitally. I mean, how do you protect yourself from things like that? How do you protect yourself from an increase of risk these days with everything going digital?
Right, and I think a lot of that comes upon who is processing those transactions for you and some of the digital security capabilities that happen within it. A couple examples, being transaction monitoring for fraud, where PSCU is very heavy in that business of analyzing transactions and stopping the bad ones and letting the good ones go through. Alerts and controls are an absolutely great thing for consumers, where they can actually go on and turn off their plastic card when they're using it or not using it. So that flexibility has been very important there as well. And I think even with mobile wallet transactions and contactless transactions, even though you have information floating through the air, there are additional layers of security that are built into those, and arguably some of those layers make it more secure than actually running a magstripe transaction through the machine.
And that is a topic of discussion that, the Cooperative Credit Union Association has a program called CU Senior Safeguard, and we've been focused on that for years, and not just with seniors, but with people and fraud. And it's amazing the level of crime that's out there, and people try to just steal. And now that we're all at home and maybe we're online more, it's good to hear that a company like PSCU is on top of that and can provide that sort of solution for credit unions. Talking with Norm Patrick, Vice President of Advisors Plus Consulting, PSCU. What should credit unions be doing to meet shifting member needs or preferences during this climate, or really just moving forward over the course of the next year?
Well, I think that consumers are, constantly going to be looking for a safer way to do things, a more hygienic way to do things. And I think credit unions need to continue to invest in innovation on their programs. As consumers become more digital, credit unions need to become more digital, and support companies like PSCU and Advisors Plus will need to do precisely the same. So I think we will see a continued push into the contactless market. as well as mobile payments. I think another thing worth mentioning is digital banking. The overall interface and ability to move funds around within your credit union relationship. That's just not done at the branch as much anymore because in a lot of cases they have closed, and people are beginning to gravitate more towards that digital perspective. So I think some investment is warranted there. And then also, as I alluded to before, around digital card management, just having that ability from a self-service perspective as a cardholder to be able to go in and turn on and turn off your cards to handle some of the basic service methods that you would normally visit a branch or call into the call center for. A lot of those tools are available, and we're kind of on top of that here at PSCU. And even credit union self-service tools where they're able to more effectively serve their cardholders from the credit union's perspective in a sometimes branch remote environment. So I think the investment is definitely needed to be continued there.
If it's anything card related, debit or credit, Norm Patrick's your guy. How about that?
There we go. Give me a call.
I mean, that's it. Boom, done. How do people get a hold of you? We have a whole bunch of people from all of our credit unions watching our Marketplace Monday, and that's the purpose. I want to give you the platform, an opportunity to present to them. How do people get a hold of you, Norm?
Well, you can reach us through our PSCU website, PSCU.com, our Advisors Plus website at AdvisorsPlus.com, and even if you want to drop me a note, npatrick@PSCU.com. Would love to hear from you and try to help you out with your needs.
I'm gonna give you one here. We had Dr. Common Sense. We had Mrs. Common Sense. You're going to be Mr. Card.
All right. There we go.
Anything card related. Absolutely. Norm Patrick, Vice President of Advisors Plus Consulting, PSCU. For joining us on the show, you're automatically entered into our drawing to win a 75-inch flat screen TV. We'll do that drawing at the end of our road to convention. We're doing this for 9 weeks, so we'll draw one of our lucky vendor partners then, so maybe that's going to be you. But you do get to spin the prize wheel. You want to win some money or maybe a Dunkin' Donuts gift card?
Oh, let's do it, Isaiah.
Here we go, baby. Here we go, baby. Talk to me. Give it up for Norm. Here we go. I think we have a studio audience somewhere. Oh, we get a free spin. Oh, here we go. Oh, $50 gift card. There we go. And there's the studio audience.
Excellent. Thank you.
This is great. You just won a $50 gift card. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your partnership. All of us here at the Cooperative Credit Union Association appreciate your partnership, your time, your willingness to come on. I'm sure you were a little nervous about this going, I hope this isn't 4 hours long. That'll kill me. We're keeping these things short and sweet. But Norm Patrick, Vice President of Advisors Plus Consulting, PSCU. One more time, how do people get a hold of you?
PSCU.com, AdvisorsPlus.com, or npatrick@PSCU.com.
Be safe. Thank you so much. Go enjoy the rest of your week. Okay, Norm?
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. All right, listen, this is our first ever virtual Marketplace Monday presented by the Cooperative Credit Union Association. We're going to take one more break, and then we are going to play our Marketplace Monday mystery clue game. I'll be giving out our first clue and wrapping up our first show. We'll be back after this.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. The sounds of tutoring and tech and health and fitness and arts and music. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, everybody. Happy Monday and welcome back as we wrap up our first ever virtual Marketplace Monday. I'm your host, Isaiah. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. It is just after 11, and this is where we wrap it up. Our goal with Marketplace Monday is every Monday at 10 o'clock. You can join us at ccua.org/live. We want to make these shows educational, solution-filled, fun-filled, and more importantly, fast and to the point so you can move on with your Monday. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us. Dr. Nicolas Argy, great point of view on what's happening with COVID-19. Shazia, Manus, the Chief Strategy and Business Development Officer at CUNA Mutual Group. Thanks so much for coming on, Shazia. Also, Norm Patrick, Vice President of Advisors Plus Consulting, PSCU. Thank you so much for coming on the show. They all won some prizes. Nick won $50. Shazia won a Dunkin' Donuts gift card. And Norm won a $50 gift card. For all of you vendors that are watching, but yet haven't signed up, you need to sign up. You need to get a hold of Dean and sign up because spaces are limited. We're almost sold out of our entire 9-week road to convention, but this is a great platform for you to reach our member base. I'll make sure that you can sell your products, talk about how you're doing during the pandemic. Whatever you feel like talking about, I'll give you that stage. So get a hold of Dean and sign up because there's lots of prizes and lots of opportunities. And for all of you credit union decision makers out there, thank you for tuning in. I want to make sure that you understand you have a chance to win $2,000 in cash by playing our Marketplace Monday Mystery Clue game. Every Monday, I'll be dropping a clue. At the end of the 9 weeks, put all the clues together. And if you get it right, you submit your name, and you have a chance to win $2,000 in cash. This week's clue, write this down, 1553. 1553. That is week one's clue. All right, we're going to wrap things up. My name is Isaiah. I've been your host here for the first Marketplace Monday. This has been fun. It's been real. I will see you next Monday, 10 a.m. ccua.org/live. Thanks for joining us for the first ever Marketplace Monday. Have a great week, and we'll see you next Monday.